Good morning, children. Welcome back to our English class. As discussed earlier, yes, today we are going to continue with part 2 of lesson number 5, A Night in June. That's a wonderful poem written by William Wordsworth. As already discussed, we know that William Wordsworth was born on April 7, 1717. And yes, his father was a lawyer by profession, and who motivated him to write the poem is his class teacher. So when he wrote his first poem, he was very much motivated and he was, being appreciated by his class teacher. And later on, he came to know that he has got amazing ideas and theories which he can explore in terms of nature in relationship with human life. So yes, even this poem has fantastic idea, and the basic central idea of the poem is the anxiety, the man's anxiety about whether the same natural beauty will be continued in future if taken care properly. So yes, students, this is the poem A Night in June. Now, what I have done is I have given you few value points. So, what I would request you is please go through the value points, but simultaneously, what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you a summary or a recap of the entire poem that we had done in the previous session. So, as we all know, the speaker, has written this particular poem in the month of June when he was in London. Now, in the month of June in London, basically it's a summer season, and during the summer season, as we all know, the sun sets quite late. Now, he has written the transformation of evening shifting to the night time, and during that phase, the transition phase from evening to night, what are the changes happening in the environment? So he was very much fascinated and mesmerized with the beauty, and he has explained the beauty in this entire poem. So, as we all know, it is clear he has said that the sun is about to set, and the stars are accompanying with the soft half moon. So he could see only two or three stars in the night in the sky. Now he could listen to the sound of the birds. He could see that a lot of wind is basically rushing towards him. He could also listen to the sound of the water that is gushing towards him. Yes, he has also experienced cuckoo's sound. According to him, the cuckoo is crying, and the lot of echo of the voice is overall taking place in the environment. So, what he means to say is the environment is completely silent and there is no other activity of human, talking or running here and there, or any other activity which was supposed to be done by the humans. Now, he is actually very much happy or joyful with all this environment. But suddenly he gets distracted and he starts thinking that what if the human doesn't take care of the same nature in future, then what will happen? And for that he had written some few lines in the poem which says, who would go parading and masquerading in London? So over here the speaker wants to say he thinks that people living in city has little to offer that is actually not fake. So why can't the people offer much more beautiful thing in this night in June? So yes, children, we have done the basic recap of this entire poem. I would request you all to please read this poem properly, and we will continue with the review. Yes, student, now it's time for the rhyme schemes. So yes, we all know how to do and how to identify the rhyme schemes because we have already done this in our previous poetries, right? So now this is going to be a kind of a revision for all of you. Now, what do you mean by rhyme scheme? It's very easy to understand. It's basically a pattern in which the end of the line of each and every poem there will be few rhyme words. Okay, so we have to identify those words and we have to give them new alphabetical order. Okay, now let us see the first one. I'm going to read this particular stanza for you. The sun has long been set. The stars are out by two and threes. The little birds are piping yet among the bushes and trees. So now students, it's very easy over here. Set and yet, these are two rhymes. So these are the two rhymes which are forming one similar pattern. So we can give them the alphabet A and A. Okay, so let us go to the second line of the stanza which says trees, and the last line which is trees. Because trees and trees, these are the new rhymes, so we have given them new alphabet, that is B and B. So over here you have got the rhyme scheme, that is A, B, A, B. See, it was very easy. Now what we will do is, I have given you one more example which is really very easy, so you can also try along with me, and let's see. This is the continuation of the first stanza. So now we are on the second stanza. Now over here we have got few rhymes: thrushes, rushes, gushes. So see, the rhyming is similar: thrushes, rushes, gushes. So because it has a similar rhyme, we can give them the new alphabet which is C. Okay. Now let us go through the next one. It's cry, sky. So cry, sky. It's again a new rhyme pattern. So we can give this particular scheme as D. That's a new alphabet. So now what is the scheme for this particular stanza? The scheme is, because there are first three lines with C, it's supposed to be C, 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 and then D, D. So now the rhyme for this particular stanza is C, 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 D, D. So yes student, what you can do is, we have got one more stanza which is remaining, and that is supposed to be your homework. So you can try this rhyme scheme on your own and let me see if you are able to do it. But yes, I'm very sure it's very easy and you are very confident and you will be able to do it, right? So now student, it's time for figures of speech. We have done figures of speech in our grammar session, and I'm very sure that you are now quite, you can say, expert in recognizing or identifying your figures of speech. We have done 10 kinds of figures of speech in our earlier grammar session. So now students, figures of speech is basically why this poet, they use this kind of speeches, so that they can make this particular poem very expressive and very interesting for the readers, so that the readers can enjoy this kind of poem. So now let us go through this particular stanza which says, on such a night of June, with that beautiful soft half moon, and all these innocent blisses, on such a night as this is. So beautiful soft, how the moon is beautiful soft, and it also specifies it, the bliss, that is the innocent bliss, that is innocently, this particular poet is actually enjoying the bliss, that means enjoying this particular moment of the night. So yes, whenever we are giving or whenever we are representing any object with a human touch or giving any kind of a human expressions to this object, this is nothing but personification. Yes, you are right. So yes, since half moon is been given the specification as beautiful soft and it's expressed as innocent bliss for the night, this is giving a personal touch, a human touch to the object, and that's the reason we are saying that this is a personification. Now to make it more clear, let us do one thing. We will go through few more figures of speech from this particular poem. Here we go. So now these are few examples and I want you also to join with me and let us see whether you are able to do it. Yes, the first line, the sun has long been set, the stars are out by twos and threes. So now students, let us check. It's twos and threes. Now this is an alliteration. The reason is it has got the first consonant, that's the sound of T, that's two and threes. So because it has got the sound of T, that's the first consonant, yes, this is an alliteration. It's very easy to recognize. See, Now, the next one. The little birds are piping yet among the bushes and trees. So now, as we know, birds are piping. That means it's the sound that birds are singing. So this is nothing but onomatopoeia. So as we know that we have already done this kind of figures of speech in our previous grammar session, I'm very sure that there are remaining two more figures of speech in this particular poem. I want you to please go through it and just see whether you can identify the figures of speech on your own without taking anyone's help. All right? So now, so now it's time for reference to the context. Now, students, we know that we always go through one example of reference to the context from each lesson and poem. Now, there's one line which has been given to you fills all the hollow of the sky. So, as we already know, that when the cuckoo sings, sovereigns, that means cries, the writer thinks that there is a lot of hollowness in the sky. Hollowness in the sky means a lot of emptiness in the sky. So, yes, the question over here with reference to the above line is what fills the hollow of the sky? I repeat the question, what fills the hollow of the sky? So the answer is the cuckoo's sovereign cry fills the hollow of the sky. I repeat the answer. The cuckoo's sovereign cry fills the hollow of the sky. Now, with reference to the above line, there's one more question. Why is the sky called hollow? Yes, the question is why is the sky called hollow? The sky is called hollow because it is large and mostly empty, and from the earth looks curved out like one. I repeat, the sky is called hollow because it is large and mostly empty, and from the earth looks curved out like one. Now, let us go through the third question. Why does it fill the sky? Why does it fill the sky? The answer is it fills the sky because everything is so quiet that even slight sound travels far and wide and seems to resonate through the space. That means there was so much of emptiness in the space that even the slightest small sound also the writer could actually feel it, even the sound of bird or the sound of wind, sound of water, as we have already discussed in this poem. So yes, the answer is it fills the sky because everything is so quiet that even slight sound travels far and wide that seems to resonate through the space. So, yes, I have given you one example, but before we could just end with the session, let us read the poem once again and just understand whether we are quite clear with all the lines. Okay, so here we go. The sun has long been set. The sun has long been set. The stars are out by twos and threes. The stars are out by twos and threes. The little birds are piping yet. The little birds are piping yet among the bushes and trees. There's a cuckoo and one or two thrushes. There's a cuckoo and one or two thrushes and a far off wind that rushes, and a far off wind that rushes, and a sound of water that gushes, and the cuckoo's sovereign cry fills all the hollow of the sky, and the cuckoo's sovereign cry fills all the hollow of the sky. Who would go parading in London and masquerading? Who would go parading in London and masquerading on such a night of June with that beautiful soft half moon? On such a night of June with that beautiful soft half moon. And all these innocent blisses on such a night as this is. On all these innocent blisses on such a night as this is. Wow, I think that's a wonderful poem. Yes, we know it's written by William Wordsworth. So, students, I've already given you a lot of keywords in each and every slide, along with the few lines of the poems. So yes, we will go through the keywords once again. Piping, yet piping. That means the birds are piping. That means birds are singing in a very high voice. Okay, piping means the birds are singing in a very high voice. Now there's a cuckoo and one or two thrushes. Now, as we discussed, thrushes is also one type of bird with black spots in the front. Okay. Now, the next one is sovereign cry. Cuckoo's sovereign cry. Now, it's a majestic cry. Majestic cry in the sense, it's a cry with a deep feeling. So, yeah, the author wants to say that the cry was in a very different sound, which actually made the entire sky with lot of hollowness, with lot of emptiness. Yeah, the next one is who would go parading in London and masquerading. So, as we already know, parading is nothing but going in a sequence or or assembling somewhere in a very uniform or systematic pattern. And masquerading is basically wearing a fake mask when you're dancing, when you're doing a party. But this happens in London basically. So the writer wants to say over here is who would go parading and masquerading. That means please do not wear any fake mask, or do not make a pretendance of you're pretending that you're taking care of the nature, but he actually wants all of us, all the humans, to take care of the nature. So, yes, students, I think this was a wonderful poem which was actually in connection with nature, in relationship with human life. And yes, we can learn a lot of things from this particular poem, and we should be taking care of the nature the way William Wordsworth has explained in his poem. So, yes, if he is concerned about the future, we also are concerned about the future, and you students are the future of this world. So, yes, you should be thinking a lot about how to take care of the nature. So, yes, you can think widely and explore your ideas and theories and come up with some wonderful ideas on how you can take care of this nature, right? So, yes, before we could end this session, it's very important for me to tell you that you are supposed to go through the assignment without fail. After this particular part 2, you have to fill the assignment online and submit it so that your teachers can actually judge you on the assignments that you have done. All right. Thank you very much, and I hope you're going to enjoy. You have already enjoyed part 1 and part 2 session, and you should keep on doing revision a lot. Okay, thank you so much, children. Take care. Bye bye.